Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you didn't know, now you know. This video is going to be a little unorthodox. So I'm going to go through my recording setup and my software, and I'm going to be as specific as I possibly can to give you what I hope to be helpful information. I am going to be recording it from my phone though, because I need to be able to show you the everything. And I am not a professional, so this is the easiest way that I can think of to do it. The video is probably going to be a bit long, and I'm going to link as much equipment as I can in the description. And then I will also leave you links to the software should you choose to use it. There are also alternatives, of course, but I'm going to show you what I use and how I do it. So let's have a look. All right, so let's start with the camera. This is the camera I record with. You can use your phone if you want to, but this is how I do it. So this is the Lumix G85. It is available on Amazon. This lens is one of the two lenses that it came with. It zooms in quite a bit. In fact, I've got it all the way zoomed out. However, if you'll notice, there is a great amount of distance between the camera and where my hands are. And the reason for this is, so firstly, I don't bang into this with my body. But secondly, because if it was any closer, the camera would struggle to focus with that lens because it would be too close for the distance that it works at. I have used the other one, but it's much shorter. And then I end up having this in front of my face, which the problem with that is this camera. So this is a Logitech C920, I believe. The lights are making it weird. Also from Amazon. So this is how I do face cam. If I have my other camera lower, then it blocks this. And so I don't want that. Now, as far as suspension, I have this arm that is attached to the wall, and it's movable up and down, swings around. Also available on Amazon. I find this to be the best method for me because I don't touch it. Nothing that I'm touching touches it, so I don't shake it. I have been in situations where my mounting was touching my desk. So if my desk was shaking, so was my mount. And I don't like that. So this is the solution I came up with. There are different ways that you can mount a camera, but this is what I've chosen. Now, as far as this one, I have it on this little arm and it has a clamp. It is attached to the desk over here on this rail. And my microphone is the same way. I will also link that. It is from Amazon. Now, this is called a magic arm. I actually have another one here that is longer and it folds down, and this is how I put my phone camera right here for when I'm doing like shorts and stuff, but that's unrelated to my actual big footage videos. I keep the volume on this at about halfway. Having a quality external microphone is super important for sound quality. The microphone in the cameras and the microphone in the laptop are horrible. So you want to make sure that even if you're not doing the additional video, you're doing bare necessities, that you have a good quality microphone. Let's talk about how these things are attached. As you can see, there are two cords here. This cord is the charger. It only charges when the camera is off. This cord is a micro USB on this end, and it is a USB-C or HDMI, something like that, on the other end. It comes over here and it meets up with this. So yeah, HDMI. One of these is for my microphone, one of these is for that camera up there, and the other one, I believe, is a charger. The white one, it charges something. I don't know. But I've got all of these, and they go into one that is plugged into my laptop here with the USB-C. There's not enough ports in my laptop independently to not have that splitter. Additionally, I have this plugged in over here as well. This is where the, I believe this is where the other camera is plugged in, this one. So you have to have both of your cameras plugged into the computer so that they can be accessible. You have to have your microphone plugged into the computer so it can be accessible. I forgot I had the microphone turned off when I was recording this little overlay, but this is a capture card and it is between my overhead camera and the laptop, and you have to plug the camera into the capture card and then the capture card into the laptop. If you do not have this piece in between, it will not work. So you have to have that. Also available on Amazon. Additionally, I have these lights here, and I have one over here. This one's kind of facing the wall so that it's more of an ambient light, whereas this one's more facing down. These lights here are just for aesthetic. They're part of the desk. And then I have this light here that is more for my ability to see, but obstructive, mostly when actually recording. Light balance is a whole different animal. But you do want to have light coming from several angles. Like, as you can see, my workstation is fairly dark independently, and especially like if I'm over here hunched over, it can get kind of shadowy. So we need to create light from several angles to try to eliminate those shadows. But yeah, those lights that are part of the desk and stuff, they're not really helpful to this. In fact, sometimes they're obstructive, so I turn them off. Got all kinds of crap. This is a heater. So this is how I dry my hands sometimes when I don't feel like waiting. And it's cool because you can turn it. So I'll link that too. I think it is a wonderful device. I also have this light if I need some additional like top-down face directly pointed light. I can always unfold this from the wall and pull it out, but I rarely have to use that one. Now, as far as software, this is pretty much where most of it is. So I use Wondershare for editing. You can use whatever editing program you want, but I feel like Wondershare is the most user-friendly. It is not cheap. They do have subscription options that come with a lot more features, but I don't have those. I got the one-time fee, purchase it for a lifetime option, but it doesn't come with all of the additional content. It does do what I need it to do though. PhotoPad image editor is what I use for editing my thumbnails. It's like an editor for dummies. It has very few capabilities, but it is easy to use. I'm no Photoshop expert, so that's my alternative. The other option would be to edit on my phone and then transfer the file, but that's often more work than I want to put in. OBS. OBS is a free recording software, and that is where all of the mastery happens. Before you edit, before you cut out the downtime, before you put overlays, getting everything to exist in a video format happens in OBS. So let's open that up first. So this is what my OBS looks like. When you just get it, it's not this complicated. Let me turn that off. So I have Streamlabs installed as an add-on. That's how I do the live streaming, but let's put live streaming aside. You don't need that right now. Let's talk about settings. This column over here is scenes, and what a scene is when you switch between different presets that you have already made so that you don't have to like recreate these things in the moment. And you can label them whatever you want. You see. Now this black area that you're seeing here, this is where the top-down camera would be. Let's turn that on. See? So that's how this happens. The chat box, this label, this is for live streaming. The alert box, this is also for live streaming, those are not important. Webcam. So this is the source that goes to this camera here. You add it on by choosing the plus sign, and then you can choose from different inputs. So we have like audio input. This is how I had my microphone added. We can do display. That's where you can get your screen. We can do images. We can do text, but video capture, you can put as many as you want. So I put one video capture and I named it webcam. And then I put another video capture and I named it Lumix after my camera. So that is this camera. And then here is my microphone right here. You can see when there's sound happening because it's moving right here. If this is not lit up, you're not capturing your sound. And so I just duplicated most of these inputs to match with the different things. And so that is how you get 2-in-1. There are other options where you can record them independently and then edit them as 2 separate files and put one on top of the other. It's better, but it's more work, which is why I don't. And so because this is this way, it records it as one video file. So when I open it up in editing, I can't move this part separately from this part. It's all one thing. So it does limit how much editing I'm able to do, but if you're a beginner, that doesn't matter anyway. Within the Lumix, you can go in here and go into filters, and this is where you'll often want to tamper with these because sometimes your lighting is going to make it look really strange in here and your color balance can be weird. So you want to compare it with things to see if it looks like what it looks like in real life. So like this bottle is more vibrant on camera than it actually is in real life. But that's because I can't figure out how to get the color balance to choose that color and then also like this shade of purple at the same time. Because again, I am no expert. The magnetic ring on the back of my phone just ripped off and dropped my phone, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Oh, so the reason that it appears upside down is because of the way the camera is mounted. It's upside down. So the bottom of the camera is that way, so that the screen on top is this way, and when I stand up, I can view it. If it were the other way around, I would not be able to see what's on that screen, which I need to interact with sometimes. Most of my focusing and stuff happens over here because you can like grab this whole thing and like move it around. But when it comes to trying to set like tracking on this, you have to tap the screen up there. So there's a lot of figuring things out that go on with how your camera works. And I don't know how my camera works, so we're still figuring things out. But I've got to be able to access it. And so technically, I have rotated these. So when you click on here, you can transform. And this gives you the option to change things. And so I've used this to rotate the way that it appears in here so that it records the right way up. And I don't have to flip it over after the fact, and it doesn't make my video end up upside down as well. If you want to learn more specifics about OBS, I recommend looking up someone who's an expert at it because I have to Google things all the time. Now, as far as Filmora for editing, let's have a look at that. So you open this up, it'll let you choose a ratio for your display, but we're gonna do 16:9, your typical sideways. You can always change this when you're inside of it as well. Once I get it open, I like to open it up bigger. Import allows you to grab files. So let's grab some. So like, and we need to go to videos. I have pre-made intros and outros that I've made. They take forever, but once they're made, you can just keep using them. So I like to grab one of each. And then also whatever video file I'm going to be doing. So my OBS recordings, they save in this OBS file that I have designated ahead of time. that this is where I want it to be. So here are video clips. Every time you start and stop, it makes a clip. And then there are clips here from like the live streaming and stuff. Great. Update. Get that out of here. So that's going to be a thing. You can't really mess with it while it's doing that, but we're going to set it to the side. So you just go in there and you choose your footage. We're going to choose this one. So this is the live stream that we recorded today. And so you grab it and drag it in. I like to say, don't ask me this again, because it's like, do you want to match the frame size to the media? Of course I do. And then I put this in here as well. And now I've got to minimize it because it's so long. And then I put my last one on. So you want to put them on here in the order in which they occurred. And then I can zoom it back. And so for the most part, what I do is chop things out. So like, let's say everything here, this is all downtime. So I'm gonna hit the delete button, get rid of it. But like right here, you can see there's sound. And if I drag it across, you can see it happening. And then you can cut and delete. And so I go through that and cut out anything that I don't want. And then if I want to speed things up, I can click here, click this little button that looks like a clock, and choose fast and how fast, and then slow and how slow, that kind of stuff. And then also when I want to add like the overlays, like subscribe, blah, 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 they're here in stock media. And you have to download them, but I have some already, and they're here, they're green screen. So let's say we want to put a piece of green. You go to AI tools, and then you go and turn chroma key on, and that makes your green invisible. So whatever you have, let's say we have this one. Scooch it so you can see it. All right, color key. Or pardon me, video, AI tools, chroma key. See, now the green is invisible, but the sticker stays. So that's how I do that. And I just put those on there as I like them. And then let's say we've finished. So we're gonna go up here and choose export, create a video, and eventually it'll pop up. And then where you wanna save it, your file type, I save mine as an MP4 file. I use 1920 by 180 as my resolution. That way it's that 16 by 9. You can name it whatever you want, and then you export. It takes a while for it to do that because it's going to convert that file into one solid MP4 file, and then you're able to use that to upload to YouTube. I am going to have to actually go through this and actually edit it. So I'm going to leave it here. But as you can see, going through here, that my camera and my video footage, it's all there. Now, if you want to add more footage, for example, you can always grab some more. Let's say I want to add a little bit of this footage for some reason, but I want to put it on top of this one. I can. And so then you're seeing that on top. And so you can add additional like bits over it. So that's how I add nail photos when I'm like, let me show you the pictures I took. It's like that. I just put them there on top. So the higher it is up on this, the more in the front it is. And so if it's down here, it's going to be behind whatever it's looking at. Whenever you put sound, you can grab some audio and you can just stick it here too. This is how I add the sound. And so when it's playing, you can hear that. I typically turn the volume down over here. I like to go with a -20 as my volume. That way it's more of a background sound and not overpowering my own talking. So that's a general rundown of how to use Filmora. Another thing that if you need more specifics, go look up an expert. But the order in which I do things is I take everything out I don't want, and then I add in my sound, and then I add in my pictures, and then lastly I add in the little overlays of subscribe, like, blah, 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 in the gaps however I feel. But that's kind of how I do it. Editing Megan here. I am going to record the screen of me editing this video and insert it in like speed format so that you can kind of see what that process looks like. When it comes to YouTube, you're gonna go into the YouTube studio and create and upload video. And that is where you'll be able to choose the video file. You'll be able to put on a custom thumbnail, or it'll choose you some, but they're usually just like a screenshot, some random part of the video. So I recommend making one. And then you'll wanna set up what's in your description. That's a whole nother subject because what you put in there is going to affect the algorithm. I recommend getting this IQ tool. It's like an add-on, and there's a account that it goes with, whatever. But this will help you be able to evaluate how the algorithm is reading your video, as well as monitor like your stats and stuff and give you suggestions on what kind of content is popular, what people want to see, that kind of stuff. I make whatever I want because I'm roguish, but that's how you get that added in here. And then of course it just keeps track of it all and you can see it. And then it's got like your analytics and your community and all this good stuff. So it's pretty cool. Your dashboard, this gives you like a summary of what's going on right now. So you can see some recent content, your subscribers, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of it. That's the things that I use and how I use them. I'll even try and get you the links to the cords because you're gonna have to have them. Your equipment's probably gonna be slightly different than mine, so things may not be like a one-for-one translation, and so you might have to kind of just try things out. I definitely recommend getting stuff from Amazon because not only are you going to get a good price, but if it doesn't work for you, you can return it. I've returned many things in my time. I definitely also recommend getting extra batteries for your camera. My batteries only last about an hour, so when I live stream, I have to change the batteries out. Sometimes when I'm recording, I have to turn it off, let it charge a while, and then continue recording. So it's good to have extra batteries. If you're gonna record with your phone, it's gonna be a whole different thing. And probably what you're gonna do is record 2 separate files and then put them together after, which is what I used to do, but I don't like doing it because then you have to match the sound with the picture and the mouth. So it's just more work than I wanted to put in, but you can. Just kind of depends on the amount of editing you want to do. But if you want to do some very basic beginner editing and just put together some content, this will work. So if there's anything more specific that I can answer about either the equipment, the software, any of that stuff, definitely let me know and I will do my best to get you an answer, even if it's like in a short video format. If it's too much for typing or too complicated to explain, I'm definitely happy to help and to share the knowledge that I had to scrape together in the most grueling way possible. But making YouTube videos adds a lot of value to my life and a lot of happiness, and so if I'm able to share that with someone, I am happy to do so. But I hope you found this helpful, and thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.